On November 6, 2025, Lynbrook American Legion Post 335 held a law and order night at Lynbrook's Veterans of Foreign Wars Hall on Merrick Road. Awards were presented to two local first responders for life-saving efforts performed on two separate occasions. Recipients were Lynbrook Police Officer Christopher Lopez and First Lieutenant Susan Dominguez of the Lynbrook Fire Department's Emergency Medical Company. The master of ceremonies for the night was American Legion Post 335 Commander Anthony Samuel. He welcomed everyone in attendance to the post's first annual Law and Order Night.
Ryan Palladino to present the first award. Everyone, everyone have a seat.
I want to start tonight. I want to start off with an apology, but it's a good apology. I'm not shaving because this is No Shave November, and it's shameless plug. We're raising money for Erin Quinlan, who is daughter of one of our police officers, Jerry Quinlan. We're having a fundraiser here tomorrow night from 7 to 10 if you'd like to come. The VFW was gracious enough to lend us the hall. It was excellent. So that's my first apology. Second apology, Chris Lopez is in Aruba at a wedding, and he's our honoree tonight. So it's not his wedding, but he's attending a wedding. He's already married with a child. But he's an excellent cop, and I really felt this award definitely belonged to him. I have a couple of short stories to read. So here was his resume I put in. Where do I begin? I met Chris Lopez soon after he was hired as a police officer in Lynbrook Police Department in 2014. I'll just yell. I soon learned his professional story and his duty of public service to our country began well before meeting him. Chris came to Lynbrook with 9 years of experience from the NYPD. Like all officers, he started on patrol but quickly excelled policing, ending up with street narcotics in the 75th Precinct, which polices the neighborhood of East New York, Brooklyn. During Chris's tenure with the NYPD, he was decorated many times for numerous drug arrests and gun arrests. Beginning in 2003, Chris served a 6-year service commitment to the United States Marine Corps. 4 years as a reserve, and 2 years he was on active duty, which consisted of deployment in the year 2005, which he served honorably for our country during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Since joining the Lynbrook Police Department, Chris has worked feverishly and bravely for our community. Chris has been decorated too many times to recall. However, some of the highlights include an arrest of 7 known gang members in a vehicle on a Lynbrook side street where possession of firearm and it appeared the group was intended to do more crime. The recognition and seizing of at least 5 drug dealing operations that were conducted out of various Lynbrook homes throughout the years, usually in rentals. That's why we focus on those. And saving the life of a distraught teenager who plunged herself into a lake in Valley Stream in an attempt to commit suicide. Chris's work ethic is incredible. He's always looking for problems to solve, and the saying goes, he's always turning over stones in an attempt to fight crime in the village of Lynbrook. I'm honored to work with Chris Lopez and proud to call him one of Lynbrook Police Department's very own. I believe Chris is the perfect candidate to be honored by the Lynbrook American Legion for its Law and Order Responder Committee. We could just concentrate Police Officer Chris Lopez and his Hendrickson Park life-saving incident. On September 26, 2024, at approximately 12:30 in the afternoon, Police Officer Chris Lopez was in a radio motor patrol car on Horton Avenue near the village boundary with the village of Valley Stream, when he heard the Nassau County Police Department give out a radio call for a person drowning at the lake at Hendrickson Park in Valley Stream. When Lopez heard the call for distress, he knew he was only about a half mile from the park. And due to the gravity of the call, Lopez asked for permission to respond and arrived to the park moments later. When Lopez arrived, he found the person in the water about 100 yards off the lake shore. Lopez instantly secured his weapon, and without regard for his own personal safety, he entered the water and was soon at the spot of the person in distress. Lopez later learned the person in the water was a Valley Stream Central High School student who was suffering from depression and attempting suicide. Lopez didn't ask questions, but grabbed the depressed student, and after a small struggle, was able to bring her to shore, where she was ushered into an awaiting ambulance and transported to the hospital for further medical and psychological evaluation. Police Officer Lopez has been decorated numerous times in his career, both with Lynbrook Police Department and the NYPD, for bravery and skillful police work. His actions on September 26, 2024 are typical for him and display why he is so valuable to the Lynbrook Police Department and the law enforcement community as a whole. Chris really wanted to be here tonight, and hopefully maybe this award could go up the ranks a little bit, because he is a hell of a cop and a great asset to this village. Thank you for having me. One more. Thank you very much.
Let's give Chris a round of applause. Next, I'd like to call Chief Murphy, but Chief Murphy cannot be here tonight. So, Deputy Chief D. Giambattista, if I said that name correctly.
Thank you, that's perfect. Good evening. Again, my name is James D. Giambattista, one of the Assistant Chiefs of the Lynbrook Fire Department. I just want to start by saying thank you for having us. Thank you for recognizing us. Sometimes, volunteer, whether you serve day to day or served in war, served overseas. Sometimes those are forgotten about. We just want to say thank you for recognizing us and keeping us in your thoughts. I'm just going to speak briefly on one of the incidents that we're being recognized for. Lieutenant Dominguez over here. On August 22nd, 2025, the Lynbrook Fire Department was dispatched to a medical call for a male not breathing. Upon arrival at the scene, it was determined that the patient was unresponsive and in cardiac arrest. A Northwell supervisor was already present with officers from Lynbrook Police Department. Lieutenant Susan Dominguez arrived shortly after and took over, giving bag valve mask ventilations, or BVM, from one of the police officers. The Lucas device had already been applied by the Northwell supervisor, and Northwell paramedics entered to find that the patient was still pulseless and had no shockable rhythm. Northwell EMS personnel administered medications, and when the AED advised a shock, the patient was shocked, followed by compressions being resumed with the Lucas device. A pulse check again showed no pulse, and additional medications were administered, all while Lieutenant Dominguez continued to provide rescue breathing with the BVM. The AED advised a second shock, after which both a pulse and a heartbeat were regained. The Lucas device was then removed, and the patient was placed on a stretcher and moved to the ambulance, where Lieutenant Dominguez noticed that the patient began to resist intubation, which is a sign that the patient was now breathing on their own. The patient was transported to Mount Sinai, South Nassau Hospital Trauma Bay, where their medical team continued emergency care. The patient was subsequently taken into surgery for a double bypass and is now alive and making a full recovery. If it wasn't for the combined life-saving efforts of Lieutenant Susan Dominguez, the Northwell crew, and the Lynbrook police officers on scene, the patient might not have been given a second chance at life. The Lynbrook Fire Department is proud to have leaders like Lieutenant Dominguez, and we're all very grateful to have her recognized for her actions.
Get in there for a picture.
Okay. Lynbrook Mayor Alan Beach, accompanied by village trustees, presented a proclamation to Susan Dominguez.
For
be receiving the 2025 American Legion Post 335 Law and Order Award, and be it further known that we extend to our sincere congratulations on receiving this recognition and commend you commend you for your dedication. Yeah, I gotta throw it in a little bit, gotta lighten up the load here. On your dedication to service to the country and to the community, we do hereby extend our expression of our pride for your accomplishments and express our best wishes for your continued success in all your endeavors. And really, you know, if anybody's ever been in a situation where, let's face it, it's hitting the fan, right? It's upsetting. And then we have people respond that know what to do. Life just kind of takes a deep breath and just kind of settles down. And the best usually happens. And people like Susan does those things. Right? So thank you so much. And then we have Chris Lopez. Does anybody know Chris Lopez? Well, Chris Lopez is that cop that you always want to show up. He's that guy. We've had stories of Chris Lopez taking on guys, multiple people. You know, not just one bad person, right? There are times, what was it, the MS5, or there was a group of guys.
New York State Senator Patricia Canzanari Fitzpatrick also came to the podium and presented a New York State citation to Susan Dominguez.
Good evening. I'm Senator Patricia Canzanari Fitzpatrick. I wanted to thank the Legion and all of the membership for doing this to recognize the volunteers that make our community so special. Susan, thank you so much for what you're doing. I know under great pressure it is difficult to follow out that task, and you did it. And I know that family is probably eternally grateful for what you did. So I too have a citation from the New York State Senate for you to congratulate you on receiving this award, and with grateful thanks from the constituents that I represent. And as far as Chris Lopez goes, I've been trying to track him down to give him an award for what he did saving that teen from Valley Stream who was drowning. I've awarded him the New York State Commendation Award for exemplary service to his community, and he's so humble and so nonchalant about what he did that I've asked him multiple times to get together with him to present him with that award, and he's just too busy to take it. So I too want to congratulate the chief, because your force is just so exemplary and keeps Lynbrook the beautiful community it is. So one of these days I'm going to track him down. I might need your help.
All right,
to do
yeah,
that.
all right.
But
Why
thank you,
go to
thank you.
Aruba?
Yeah. Thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura Ryder and I'm here on behalf of the town of Hempstead to, I guess, congratulate, but most importantly to thank Susan for your outstanding performance. I can't imagine what it must be like to save a life. And I know we have other members of our outstanding medical company. Each and every one of you are so important and do such a tremendous job. And like many people in this room, I've had to call 911 many times, particularly when, as my parents had gotten older. And every time Lynbrook Medical Company came, the love, the compassion, and the caring, the service, the medical care that they had rendered to my parents, I'm eternally grateful for. And I'm sure that all of us in this room have similar stories. So thank you for the wonderful work that you do. Congratulations. And we are so incredibly proud of you. And on behalf of the 800,000 residents of the town of Hempstead, we say thank you.
One more, promise, I'll make it quick. I'm State Assemblywoman Judy Griffin's Chief of Staff, Christopher Gardner. I asked to present this award today. I actually have a few personal connections to the line of service. I'm a veteran myself. Grandfather's a veteran, but my dad also served in the FDNY. and had been killed in the Trade Center when I was a kid, so I asked if I could present these awards to both of you. So I just wanted to say I personally thank you for continuing to serve the community I've grown up and loved. So thank you so much.
That's for Chris. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now you did it.
Applause.
I'd like to thank all the honorees. I'd like to thank the Nassau County American Legion, led by Commander Dawn Samuel. There's also her staff, Arthur Perozzi, Mike Ernst back there, Kevin Tierman, and did I miss anyone? The auxiliaries. In the back is Phoebe Irvin. She's the president of the Nassau County American Legion Auxiliaries. We also have our Lynbrook American Legion Auxiliaries. That's here also. So, with all the first responders in this room right now, whether you were police officer, I was a police officer in law enforcement for 30 years. So was Kevin Tierman. Everyone here, military, all the veterans here, they know it's all about sacrifice. They know what sacrifice is. Their families know what sacrifices is. I didn't see my wife for, it feels like years. when I was working.
Man on my back?
You know, but I want to thank everyone here, all the honorees, Susan and Christopher. You know, he's enjoying himself in Aruba while we're here. But you know what? He earned that trip to Aruba. We all know that. But thank you to everyone who came. Thank you for being here, because this was our first law and order ceremony. But I think going forward, look at this room. I've never seen this many people in this room before. So I think this was a success, and we'll try to continue this, make it an annual event. Cover. With the colors in place, no cover. With the colors in place, and salute. 2. All right. The ceremony is adjourned. If you'd like to stay for pictures, please feel free to do so. There are refreshments, there are sandwiches, delicious sandwiches, I might add.
Veterans interested in joining Lynbrook American Legion Post 335 should contact Commander Anthony Samuel at 917-612-7245.